we found a lot of articles around human trafficking and they were horrific. You play as Arya, who's a 24-year-old girl. You saw a pamphlet of Arya Bhatta, right? But there is the puzzle which is around Arya Bhatta's discovery of solar eclipse, where she actually picks up the Kal Bhairava statue. This is what the Indian gaming market needs. There should be more Indian games like this, action, adventure, and full of interesting details. Hi, my name is Vaibhav. I'm the game director for Mukti, and you're watching me on IGN India. For that, we'll definitely be announcing different trailers, and there are parts of the journey that we'll be speaking very soon in the next bits. But just to give you a plot of it, you play as Arya, who's a 24-year-old girl, and she's on a mission to figure out where her grandfather is. So that's the overall context of the game. You land in this museum, and then you have to explore this to figure out what the story behind his missing is and where he is. So that's the plot. That's a simple plot, but it gets very layered. It's once you start playing it, you go deeper into it, and then it connects with a lot of past and present situations. But I would just wait for the right moment to actually reveal all of these in the next trailers. So underDOGS has been heavily inspired by story-driven games. We've been big fans of games from the Chinese Room, Telltale Games, all these games where What Remains of Edith Finch, Firewatch, all of these games. So we always wanted to make story-driven games. My personal background also being into theatre for 10 years, that also comes from a big-time storytelling fan I am, right? So when we were actually figuring out, venturing into PC and console games, we came across a lot of topics which were important. So we also wanted to make something which was impactful. So in that impactful zone, we had multiple topics that we could make game on. But the more we started digging it deep, we found a lot of articles around human trafficking, and they were horrific. We were, I would say, fortunately, unfortunately, we were able to speak to a couple of survivors also, and the whole experience was horrific to understand. And that's where we decided to, go ahead and think about a story which can, involve this particular topic. Because what we are doing is we are not talking about the do's and the don'ts about human trafficking. It's just a beautiful story about someone who has gone through that experience. So that all formulated gradually, but at the end of the day, we wanted to make a PC and console game which is confined in an environment where we are not saying we are building an open world or a big game, because we know our limitations. We are an indie studio, and we wanted to make a game which is a situational based game. So for that, everything came together, and now we are in a very good spot. So the story evolved, to be honest. Like I said, I've been saying this over and over again, we worked really hard on the pre-production of the game, for a long time. And these are things which are basically a part of evolving nature of a game. So initially we had that set up, and we thought about a lot of elements around it. And to resonate more to the characters in the game, it felt more obvious that we use something which is around that world itself, where you're playing and within the characters. So when the story evolved, the depth also got even deeper, and we started creating layers in the story itself. So that ways it made more sense to have something which was very legit in that world. There are a lot actually. One of the best one is this. And I actually saw hundreds of comments on this particular point also, where it actually, see, when a lot of developers, when they try to make cultural games, right, they try to go into the mythological space. What we are doing is more into the modern India space, and to actually represent India, also keeping in mind that we are not doing mythological stuff, and there are a few bits of realism that we need to crack, while also balance the relatability for the global audience. So you can't go too regional, because then they don't understand, right? So this piece is something that I really love, because it has everything that looks Indian but feels global also. So this is one moment. Another one is the last piece where she actually picks up the Kal Bhairava statue. This is a mechanic in the game where, because it's empathy based also, and this is her legacy, Arya's legacy, because the museum belongs to her great grandfathers, right? So you see a lot of wreck around in the museum, and as a player, as Arya, you wouldn't feel really good about things being messed up in the museum, right? So this is one mechanic which adds up to the exploration part. But whenever you see something which is not in the right place, you can actually fix it. That just adds to the probably to the trophy section or the achievement section of the game. This is not like primary element, but the secondary one. But it looks really cool. We haven't really shown a lot of puzzles into it, but there are super interesting, intricate puzzles in the game. Most of the puzzles that you see are around Indian ethos and Indian culture. So you saw a pamphlet of Aryabhatta, right? But there is a puzzle which is around Aryabhatta's discovery of solar eclipse. Now, not a lot of people know that Aryabhatta was also has a lot of contributions in different domains, right? It's not just zero that we know, right? So these are few elements, like the puzzles are majorly based on these stories from India, which are factual. So while you're playing it, while you're in the primary story, you also, by the way, learn a lot of things through it. So those puzzles are very interesting. We didn't do it, but this is one scene. It's a very static scene, but the details on this overall scene have come out really good.
There you go.
This is like a nice, beautiful scene that I love. This would roughly be around 7 to 8 hours of gameplay, but that's like a linear story. I talked about a lot of exploration elements, right? If you really are into exploration games, you might end up spending 15-20 hours into this, because there is so much into it that you would love to understand. So that's our objective, because you just can't make a game from India and just call it that we are building something like this. What we wanted to do with this is, while we are telling a beautiful story and a story that matters, we also wanted to put out bits of Indian-ness into it that the global audience don't know, which are factual. I don't know how many people would agree to it, but this is nowhere connected to the region, the regional or any other bias. These are like factual stories from the past. So we wanted to put that out. Personally, I am a big patriotic guy. You can see the flag in the studio as well, right? So just want to, when you say we want to build something great and put India on a global map, we literally want to do that. So there is a lot in terms of exploration that you would love in the game, but if it's a linear thing, it's 7 to 8 hours. So Shriyansh Pandey 112, this is what the Indian gaming market needs: small focused games whose developers know what they are doing instead of AAA wannabes. That's actually translated. So our trailer has actually translated really well into what we wanted to show. And that's, I think, something that we strongly believe. We wanted to do exactly this. Like, this comment is what we wanted, really wanted. Just wanted to show that India is at a point right now where probably in the next 5 to 10 years you will see great big games. But we have enough talent, but we don't have enough experience to do that. And I think smaller games like these would help studios to build that expertise and go to a level where we make bigger games. So yeah, we are very aware of this, and that's what we love this. You do you, yeah. Okay. Giving some feedback, guys. The running hand motion is a little too slow for the number of steps she's making per the sound I heard. 425. If the museum was supposed to shut in June, why is it still closed? Something wrong here. Isn't it supposed to be open? Okay, I'll just clarify this one thing, because there are a few comments on this. This looks spectacular, amazing vibe and quality. Really hoping the story is as mysterious as the demo suggests. Cool. So yeah, running thing, there is a bit of a mismatch in that, and that will be that's already cleared actually. Once we put that out. In terms of this last statement, right? The idea was to so if you actually look at the letter, which the notice board on the notice board, so it says that it's shut from one date to another in the June month itself. So the idea was her saying that if it was supposed to shut only in June, why is it still closed? That was the whole idea. But we wrote that, we did the audio, and then we actually tested it out with the internal team as well. And then the internal team also had this mixed feedback, and we were like, let it go, let people talk about it. Sume Poddar 6989. The trailer feels all over the place. It starts strong, giving the impression that we are about to dive into a proper mission or get a clear sense of what the game is really about, but then it veers off into scenes of picking up and staring at random objects without any clear narrative or direction. It's hard to tell what the goal of the trailer is. I hope to see more of the game in future. That said, I'm genuinely curious to see how this develops. I hope we get to see more of the game in the future, and I honestly can't wait to play it. Yeah, one thing I've noticed when we put out this trailer is a lot of people even really can't understand what the purpose of a gameplay trailer is. A lot of people were actually expecting that within this gameplay trailer we would be able to understand what the story is. The idea was not to reveal anything about the story. It was purely on the gameplay side of it. But this curiosity, it also ended up building a lot of curiosity for us. So yeah, the next trailer that we would come out is definitely going to reveal a lot more on the story side of it. So yeah. Aditya Dagar. Games are the best way to educate. The small details like the Arya paper and small Hindu gods posters, these small details are very good to add. There should be more Indian games like this, action, adventure, and full of interesting details. Yeah, thank you. Because it's a museum, even though we think that we don't want to include all of these things, we can't, because at the end of the day it's an Indian museum. These are not intentional things that we have done just to showcase that we are doing something from India and all. But yeah, people noticing it and actually appreciating the fact that these things are a part of the environment and all is a great thing for us. And just to be very honest about it, it's right in the premise and rightly connected to the story, and that's why all of these things are there. And we just have to do enough justice to everything that is present in that environment. So yeah, love that people are actually loving this. Arjun Singh 8219. Atmosphere is fantastic, but could still be better. The unsettling silence of this sequence gave me major RE7 vibes, which is fantastic. Work on the environments a bit more to make them even more unsettling. Then all we need is decent mechanics and a banger plot, and trust me, this thing will blow up. All the best to the devs behind this. Thank you, Arjun. Yeah, this is a nice feedback, because even the atmosphere is slowly and gradually being improved in terms of all the elements, the airy feeling that you have. It's a lot of pressure to being compared with masterpieces, right? Games like Resident Evil, Silent Hill. People have also compared it to Edith Finch and all those games, right? All these games which we are inspired from, and so I think over the period we still have some time. We are in production, and every day we are just improving on what you have already seen. So because it was pre-alpha and still it looked decent, I think the final outcome, you'll definitely love it. Yeah, it was fantastic talking to IGN India. If you guys haven't checked the trailer of Mukti yet, please do. And if you like what you see, so do wishlist the game on PS5 and PC. The links are in the description. I had fun having this chat. Thank you for watching.